This video is for people with ADHD who struggle with procrastination. Maybe you feel lazy or not motivated. Maybe you know what you need to do, but you never seem to actually do it. Or it is extremely hard to start. For those people, I am going to lay out here for you the dopamine detox. Maybe the most important technique or tool you will ever use. So, what can you expect in the form of benefits from this technique? Well, it can dramatically enhance your motivation to go after your goals. It will reduce your impulsive behavior and make you more aware of your own life. On top of that, it will also make you appreciate the small things in life more. So, to understand the mechanics of this, I first have to tell you a little about dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter, and scientists have observed that levels of dopamine are lower in people with ADHD than those without ADHD. People might know it as the pleasure or happiness chemical, but that is actually not the case. It is more of a motivation chemical. The more you have of it, the more you will want to expand your effort to reach your goal, whatever that goal may be. Dopamine drives everything you do, and is the primary thing that you become addicted to. For example, it is what drives you to watch another YouTube video even though you have other stuff to do. The dopamine is also what drives you to want that cheeseburger even though you want to lose weight. So when you as a person with ADHD have low dopamine already, you will be more attracted to those activities that generate the most dopamine in the least amount of time. That is also why people with ADHD have an addictive nature. People are evolutionarily attracted to certain things, like food, sex, and pleasure. And the faster we get it, the more our brain tells us to do it more often and remembers to give you that extra dopamine the next time you anticipate doing it. The problem is that in this day and age, instant gratification is everywhere. You can buy a can of carbonated sugar water at every street corner. Porn is just a click away, and you might just find something interesting if you keep scrolling in social media or YouTube. If you overindulge in any of these things, you will feel numb. And you will have less motivation to do the stuff that actually matters to you, like working on your goals, talking with friends in real life, or even cleaning up your room. We become so addicted to dopamine that we cannot go 10 minutes without stimulation. When we eat food, for example, we turn on the TV or scroll through social media. When we drive in the car, we need music or even start texting while driving, which is insane. All to drive away the boredom and not sit in the silence. Dopamine is controlling our lives even though we might not even want to do certain activities. So, how can we break this cycle? How can we stop being ruled by dopamine and let it start working for us? That is where the dopamine detox comes in. Now, the name dopamine detox is a little misleading, but as it is the name that most people use for this method, I will use it here too. But I think the name dopamine fasting might be more appropriate. Because in a dopamine detox, you will abstain from all stimulation for a period of time. Usually one whole day, but if you feel the need, you can even do a whole week. I recommend 1 day first though. Here are some rules you have to follow for a dopamine detox. No internet, no cell phone, no TV, no sex or masturbation, no junk food, so either you fast on this day or you eat raw vegetables. No music, no caffeine or any other stimulants of any kind. No shopping, unless it's essential like toilet paper. And don't do anything that you think is a dopamine source for you. Now during this time, you will get bored and get a lot of cravings for certain things. This is perfect. You will want to see what you are craving for most and what your triggers are for this. Sit with this feeling and explore it. try to understand where it comes from. Now there's a few things that you can do while being on a dopamine detox. Write in a journal. This day is for exploring your cravings, so writing down your findings will help you to remember in the future. The second one is take a walk. Being in nature without any other stimulation like music or a goal that you're walking towards. It is a wonderful way to ponder and be mindful of your body. Meditate. Meditating is extremely beneficial for people with ADHD, and I will make a video on this in the future. Just sit in a comfortable position and focus on your breath. Your mind will wander, and this is exactly the point. The trick is that we want to notice that our mind has wandered, and then gently go back to the breath. I did a dopamine detox last week, and it is a lot harder than I thought it would be. But the day after that, I was more focused and more willing to go after my goals, like working on new videos. I also became aware of how much time I was actually spending on all of these other habits of mine, like music, YouTube videos, audiobooks, all supposedly to improve myself. But doing nothing and sitting with the silence is actually teaching me more than some of these YouTube videos and books ever can. I started to notice my triggers, like the YouTube app on my mobile's homepage, right when I opened my mobile phone, which I now have moved to a harder to access place. I also became so bored, I was willing to do a lot to get rid of that. So I actually cleaned up my room, cooked a healthy dinner, exercised, journaled and meditated, all without forcing myself to do it. So the two main benefits from the dopamine detox are you are getting so bored that you want to work on your goals, your chores and your improvement habits like meditation and exercise. And the other one is that you will become so much more aware of how much dopamine is actually ruling your life and which of these habits is most distracting you. Here are a few tips that you can implement when you found out what your most damaging habits are and that you want to overcome. Number 1 is hide the stimulus. Do you want to abstain from sugar? Don't have any in the house. Want to watch less TV? Ask someone to take your remote. Do you watch too much YouTube? Remove the YouTube button from your home screen. Get creative in this progress. Number 2 is make it harder to access. Plug off your TV or router and don't let the computer remember your social media password and username. So you have to type them in when you want to use social media. The third one is using website blocking software. I love this and I use it all the time. You can block certain websites for a specific time or period or block them forever. That's all up to you. I put some links in the descriptions of the apps that I use. And the last one is, and probably the most important, you face your urges. When you notice an impulse arising, what are you feeling? How do you experience this urge and what thoughts are going through your mind? Now watch this desire for the specific habit rise and fall without giving into it. Now return to whatever you were doing instead and repeat this process every time this impulse comes up. Over time, this will weaken the conditioning and it will become easier and easier to let go of the urge. I am now doing a dopamine detox for 1 day every month, on a day I have not much to do anyway. So hereby, I challenge you to do the dopamine detox and face your urges, face your dopamine, and see where you can improve in your life. Now, this channel is just starting out, so if you could leave a like and subscribe, you would really help a fellow ADHDer out, since you can probably imagine how hard I've procrastinated on making these videos. If you also leave a comment, you will be in the race for 3 months of free ADHD coaching. I wish you guys a productive week and I will see you in the next one.